All right, Jesse and Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now we're going to talk about two things here because, Khamzat Chimaev wants to fight two people in one night. And that might sound totally crazy to you, but it might not sound that crazy by the end of this video. I'm also going to talk about another guy who wants to fight Volkanovski for the belt now that Holloway's out, and it's not Triple C, and it's also a better option than Korean Zombie. Now, I'm not trying to be a dick to Korean Zombie. I'm not doing it. I'm just trying to make clear that I don't think you're going to sell Korean Zombie versus Volkanovski, and I don't really understand the logic behind it when you have much better options, like Charles Oliveira, who just said that he would go down and fight. Okay, so we're going to talk about those two things. Now, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. Now, normally I don't plug my other channel in these videos, but today I did a video about a new story that came out that I thought was rather notable, which is that Dr. Malone, the guy who got banned off Twitter, says that there's now a virus spreading through China that is an Ebola smallpox hybrid and is much more transmissible than both. Look at that. It's like every time you think things can't get any more ludicrous, humans are like, oh, no. We can one up that. Gain of function. What you thought we were done, just like, let's just take smallpox, mix it with Ebola, and then, accidentally release it. Of course. So I just did that video. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and give it a run. Probably a little bit more important than who's going to fight Volkanovski if it ends up being true. Anyway, so yeah, also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. But yeah. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about this Khamzat Chimaev story because he says that he wants to fight two guys in one night. Now that sounds crazy, right? First glance, that sounds crazy. Sounds like a publicity stunt, right? Sounds like something someone would say who is trying to gain publicity. But the reality is that last night, in fact, I just happened to have been watching some of the early UFCs where people would fight multiple times in a night by design. That's what if you wanted to win the UFC, you had to fight 2, sometimes 3, 4 times in a night. 4 times? I don't think 4 times. Maybe 3 though, right? So it's not that crazy. But here's another reason why it's not that crazy. So let's go ahead and just think about all of the fights that Khamzat Chimaev has had thus far. Now, could he have done those all in the same night? The answer is yes, he could have. He could have beat the shit out of all 4 of those guys in the same night, 100%. Absolutely for sure, right? So when he asks for 2 guys in one night, it's not something the UFC is going to do, obviously. Like, of course they're not going to actually do that. But it's actually not that crazy. Like, if people looked at that and they're all, oh, okay, bro. Okay, bro. It's like, well, let me frame it to you like this. He just fought the number 11 guy. You guys saw that fight. So if after that fight, they were all right, Khamzat fights again in 2 hours. If you had him as a favorite going into the second fight before the first fight, did that first fight affect that at all? Is it going to be diminished even a little bit? No? Correct. Of course not. Now let's go back to the one before that. How about against Mershard? You're all, dude, this guy thinks he's going to fight twice in 2 weeks? That's crazy. Much less twice in one night. Are you out of your mind, bro? These guys from Chechnya, they're just all talk. And then after the Mershard fight, the 17 seconds that he was in there, do you think he could have fought again that night? Probably. There isn't a single activity on earth that isn't like torture related that you couldn't maintain for 17 seconds and then be basically unaffected afterwards unless someone's like seriously injuring you. So minus an injury, of course he can go do whatever he wants. Of course he can fight again. So it's actually not that crazy. And he's basing it on his experience inside the octagon. I mean, based on his last 2 fights, he's like, why don't you just feed me like 5 guys? How about you just bring all the entire top 5 in and I'll just fight them one by one. I would pay for that. I don't think he'd win. If you get to Kamaru if Kamaru's your prize for beating the first 4 guys, I don't think he's going to win that fight after beating 4 other guys. Anyway, but let's talk about this Volkanovski fight. I know I can't shake off the Ebola thing either. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, so Volkanovski needs an opponent. They really seem to be pushing the Korean Zombie. I can only imagine that the reason for that is they're trying to open the South Korean market. Does he make any sense other than like outside of we're trying to open the South Korean market and get the South Koreans something really, really, to get super hyped about? I mean, I have no idea what the market size is in South Korea at all. It's possible it makes perfect sense why they're doing the Korean Zombie. But like to the American fans, they're like, wait, what? Like Korean Zombie's fun to watch. He doesn't even speak English though. Like it's really hard to get behind somebody you've never heard say a word that you understand. The other, like, actually, I don't know. I mean, I root for Wei Li and stuff. I don't know. They're like, for me, the Korean Zombie, like he's just like a robotic killing machine. There's nothing about him that I get like emotionally tied to. I don't like dislike him or anything. I just think they have a really hard time selling him. Versus Oliveira going down and fighting for 2 belts. Now that's a fight I buy. I mean, I'm going to buy them all, whatever. I mean, obviously I'm going to buy them either way. But Triple C going for the 3rd belt or Oliveira going for a 2nd belt, dude. Come on. These are great fights. You'll sell the hell out of those. You know? I think the Dominance MMA is probably listening to this video and they're all, I like one of those ideas. I really like one of those ideas. And it sure as hell is not the one where Oliveira goes down to 45. I love the one where Triple C fights. I hate the one where Oliveira goes down there and Gaethje doesn't get to fight for the title. I like one, hate the other. Like one, hate the other. I would prefer to see Triple C fight him anyway. Oliveira, in all honesty, Oliveira is just a better option than Korean Zombie, which I don't understand at all. I know, Ebola and smallpox mixed together. That's seriously what it says in the article. Ebola and smallpox mixed together. Okay? Gain of function. Brilliant. Anyway, I don't really have anything to add to that. Other than that, I think Khamzat Chimaev could probably beat a lot of guys in the same night, that aren't in the top 5. I think Triple C is the best fight for 45. I think Oliveira should defend against Gaethje quick, and then Conor can fight right afterwards. I know, oh my gosh. Did you just Conor an immediate title shot? Look, man, I like big spectacles. I like guys getting paid, son. I like big spectacles. And I don't like people taking less money for the same amount of work if they don't have to. If you're the champion, I mean, you should be able to choose who you fight. But Conor is out for a long time. Charles should not be able to hold up the division. So him and Gaethje should have to fight. But, the winner is going to get that big money fight. If you think that knowing Conor is behind your fight does not up the stakes of that fight, you let me know when you learn how the world works. Because if you know Conor's next, that fight all of a sudden is for some very, very high stakes. Also, I got to do another video, actually. I just realized I was going to tease. As a matter of fact, I'll tease it right here. Anybody catch Tyson Fury hitting pads barefoot? What? Barehanded? So, I'm going to do another video on that. Anyway, I love you guys. Peace.